Welcome to Gotta Run. This is Will Sanchez. Thank you for tuning in. My very special guest today is Sergio Soto. He is the founder of Strides New York City. I heard about Sergio to Latinos Run. Sergio gets a lot of credit for encouraging Maria to live her dream in finding Latinos Run. Sergio has expanded his sphere. He helps those within his sphere of influence to find the elite in themselves. I'm honored to have Sergio as a guest. I like your mission statement, to find the elite in yourself. That's really a great mission statement. But before we go into that, let's introduce you to our audience. Tell us where you were born and something about your growing up years.
Came here as an immigrant with my parents from Cochabamba, Bolivia. I lived most of my life with my grandmother. Most of the activities that we do out there is pretty much, play with kids, have fun, play tag,
This
fun
is Bolivia.
events, very active, yeah.
And Bolivia is where? South America?
South America, we're right at the center of South America, surrounded by the different kind of like Brazil, Argentina, Chile, so different cultures around, and I believe that kind of like helped me when I came here to the States to be a little bit more open with other people, from different cultures. So coming into the States was a little bit intimidating because the English was a barrier for me. So I wasn't so active. It was, I think, a barrier in the sense of like going out there, having kids, getting to know people, it's tough for me.
And you were only 7 when you came?
7 when I came, no English whatsoever.
Okay.
So I came here from Bolivia into Queens.
That's the melting pot of the 5 boroughs. That's a great spot to start.
Yes, and although it's a borough that you have a lot of Hispanic people from different countries, there was still a barrier because you get bullied by not knowing the English language. So I lived in Elmhurst, Corona, Jackson Heights,
Because
Sunnyside.
you were trying to find the right schools? Why were you moving around?
It was more, my father trying to find a good job.
Oh, okay.
Rent in New York is really expensive. So trying to find, a place where, it was easy for our family to support me, my mom. My dad was the only one that was pretty much working at the moment.
Did you have siblings? 2, I said.
Yeah, I have 3 great siblings. I have my brother Kevin, my only sister Stephanie, and my younger brother Albert.
Oh, quite cool. So all 4 of you were together with your dad, moving around Queens?
Yeah.
Okay, and obviously you played with each other. So as a kid, who was the fastest or the best athlete among the kids?
Well, I'm the oldest one, but to be honest with you, I was never fast to begin with. I was actually growing up as a kid with all the, bullying, not really being open with other kids. I was actually pretty overweight, and I think that was a problem.
Okay, so you picked on your overweight, picked on you didn't know the language.
Yes.
But your brothers and sisters protected you? Oh, but you were the oldest. I guess you had to do the other way. I don't know. How did that work out?
It was the other way. I had to take care of myself. But I met actually somebody in my building named Anthony. He actually was the fastest kid in my block. And I really looked up to him because, one, he introduced me to the other kids around the neighborhood. So that kind of opened up my me being a little more open and be more interactive with people.
Absolutely. You need a friend to show you the ropes. Okay, so did you go on to high school, to education?
Yes. So when I went to Long Island City High School, it was more about the books. My parents were more about, going to school, getting the right college education, graduating, getting a good job. But when I was at the library studying for a test, some people in uniform, GR-SergioSoto cadets came up to me, showed me some pictures about, activities they do. And I really wanted to keep getting to know people. So I joined the GR-SergioSoto program, which pretty much developed my character as a competitive runner, because they had the Raider team there that they always had like a ranking each week who did the most push-ups, who did the most sit-ups, but also who was the fastest 2-mile run.
Oh, okay.
And the captain, Jeffrey Perez, he was a really great friend of mine. He actually was like, hey, you want to get faster at the 2-mile run, join the cross-country team. He was actually the cross-country team captain. And we didn't have such a big following in cross-country in our high school, so he recruited the people in the team to just get faster because not just to compete against other cross-country teams, but the GR-SergioSoto pro and competed against Francis Lewis, just military PT tests. So he wanted to get the rated team also faster. So I joined. But during a cross-country meet, they told me the top 15 get medals.
Okay, it's competition among many high schools.
Yes.
Oh, okay. So it wasn't 15 in your own group. You got competition going. Okay.
Exactly. So
all right.
When I used to run, I used to count how many people were ahead of me, how many people were passing me, how many people I passed. I was like, am I going to get a medal or not? It was me just chasing the medal. And I received my first medal, and I think that really kind of kicked me and said, you know what, you can go further and you can continue this
so
this
it's the
road.
bling that attracted you to incentivize you. I guess that's why they give medals,
Yeah, I guess.
So what do you think about races that give medals to everybody? That's the big controversy, the participation medals. If you were a young kid and everybody got a medal, would you have been motivated to finish as well as you could?
Well, it's something I never received, It's an accomplishment that, even if you participate in sport and someone recognizes your capabilities or something you're able to start and finish, I think it's just a great accomplishment.
Okay, so that's a yes? You think everybody should get medals, or should it be just the top 15?
I think everybody that puts the effort to really kind of challenge themselves and, took themselves from being a couch runner to even walking, it's a big accomplishment.
It is.
And my big thing is you got to keep pushing yourself too.
Oh, okay. You're a diplomat. Okay, all right. Oh, I see what you're coming from. Everybody's different, and medals are good for their purposes, but as you point out, other people have their own issues, and whatever they accomplish is also very worthy of a shout-out or attaboy, attagirl. Okay, I got you there. So what was your best time in the 2-miler for the high school?
It wasn't that fast. It was actually 11:30, but that's after 2 years of joining the cross-country team. It was tough because we did not have a track team then. So once cross-country season was over, you were pretty much on your own.
Okay.
So I took everything I learned from cross country and how can I stay fit, during the winter. It's especially in New York, it's tough. So swimming was an option for me that I did during the winter. It helped me really strengthen myself as a runner. Also kept me injury free because I kept my body kind of in the fit.
And you were losing the weight. Did you lose the baby fat at some point?
Oh, I lost a lot of weight, especially the love handles.
The love handles are gone. Okay.
Yeah. And again, credit to Jeffrey who introduced me actually to Diego back at Nike.
Oh, okay. Before we get there, so after high school, did you go on to college?
I went to City College of New York, where I started. I didn't run my freshman year in college because academically it was a little bit challenging, kind of maintain both schoolwork and I actually had to work full time to pay off my school tuition because I was still not kind of a New York resident. I was pretty much on a visa, and it was tough, working and going to school and paying for your own.
That's right. What was your major in college?
I was a business management administration.
Okay. So you didn't run in your freshman year. Did you finally get to do some running in college?
I did, and I actually got into the track team after doing some run clubs that I found in the city that I joined and got me back into running.
Oh, was that Nike that you mentioned?
Yes.
So that's where you met Coach
Diego and Niles. So
at Nike.
Yeah.
Oh,
so,
this is going way back.
Yeah. So that's why it was still in high school where I met them. Especially during my senior year in high school, I got even faster because during my summers, instead of taking some time off from school where, high school kids are not able to train because of school policy, Jeffrey introduced me to, the run clubs in the city where I can meet really great people that, have a lot of knowledge. And that's where I met Diego and Niles. Yes.
Niles Garrison and Diego Vanegas, I think it was.
Yep.
I think Diego is much faster than Niles at that time, but Niles is pretty good. Niles is a great coach. All right, and then I think they moved on. I think Niles is now with the used to be Jack Rabbits, the New York Running Company, Columbus Circle.
Yeah.
All right, so you couldn't pick two better guys than Niles and Diego. They're terrific.
Yeah.
And they can also sell you some shoes and clothing.
Well, Diego gave me my first pair of running shoes, the real running shoes. I was running with like Jordans.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
So he looked at you going, "Hey, man." So he donated. He made a donation.
He actually donated a pair of shoes that he had because I couldn't afford at the moment.
Okay, all right. Well, I was maybe after that. I was there at Nike, and I noticed that some of the coaches and people like Diego would do that occasionally for people, give them shoes.
Yeah.
I think it was an unspoken policy to help out the community in that way. And I certainly noticed it, and I'm glad you were a beneficiary of that. All right, so after college, you needed to decide, what am I going to do with the rest of my life, right? So you're probably 21, so what was the next step after college?
So during college, my last year in college, I got to meet actually during a cross-country race that New York runners, Fred Lebow Championships. I peeked and saw that Alberto was there.
Alberto Salazar.
Yeah. So we raced, and after the finish, I approached him. Hey, Alberto, I have a few questions. How can I get even faster? Because I was actually part of the Central Park Track Club.
With Coach Ruiz?
With Tony, I met also when he was coaching at the Nike Run Club, and Coach Angela.
Angela Gonzalez.
Yeah. So both I knew Coach Tony and Coach Angela back then, and then through Coach Tony, he introduced me to Coach Devin, who she coaches middle distance, and from there I got to meet Alberto. So I got to do some great workouts, see the growth of Mary during.
Mary Kane.
Yeah.
What advice did Alberto give you?
He pretty much showed me how, like, what it takes to get to the next level. Like, you can get there. It's just understanding yourself as a runner, what you're missing, looking at your program, see what's working for you, looking at your weaknesses. So I think that's something that I took a lot. And when I do my own run group now and people come up with questions, how can I get better? The first question is like, what are you doing? What are your weaknesses? What do you like doing? What we need to get you doing? So just understanding the runner, like every program is built for different runners. You can't follow someone else's program. You got to be able to understand yourself first in order to improve.
Okay, but at that time you were probably trying to figure out how you could improve because you had that 2-mile thing back then, and you probably want to improve. I don't know too many 2-mile races, but what was your goal while you were soaking all this wisdom? And by gosh, you certainly met all the right people from Coach Nike, from the coaches at Nike. What was your running stamina at that point?
Well, what I wanted to do is pretty much build mileage, a lot of mileage. The other thing was write everything I was doing to really see what that kind of training was taking me to where I needed to be. But then, yet with work life, because I was also working at the retail store at Nike on the Flatiron section, I really need to see where I wanted to go, not just running-wise, but career-wise. So I had to kind of take a step back, see where I wanted to go. So I needed to see what other brands offer, what other, what the community out there look like from different kind of like areas, Saucony loyalists, New Balance loyalists. So, but when I went to Jackrabbit, one of the things I realized is like people used to come in because they had a certain injury. They had questions about running, I'm getting injured a lot. Do you have any suggestions? And then that's when I started kind of like, how are you increasing your mileage too much? Are you wearing the right shoes? So I got to meet one of my actually runners now, Virginia. She actually was like, you should become a coach. And I'm like, maybe I will.
Jackrabbit is famous for that. Which Jackrabbit store did you go?
Union Square.
Union Square, 14th Street.
Yep.
That's a great store. Yeah. This is during the days of Lee Silverman. He's a great guy, and I know he always encourages all his employees to be active, to be part of the community. And the Jackrabbits themselves don't have a running outfit. They encourage all runners. So that gave a great opportunity to meet runners from all stripes.
Yep. that really helped me kind of like see what I wanted to do. I didn't know so much about coaching, and so I decided to take my coaching certification and understand a little bit more about the runner and the relationship between coach and athlete. So I got to meet two great guys, Kenneth and Carlos from Insta Runners back then, that kind of gave me the opportunity of like, hey, come coach our group, and you know, we'll give you a little bit more visibility. So
Interesting. Instant Runners?
Insta Runners.
I'm not familiar with that group. Are they still around?
They kind of split up at the moment. You know, things happen.
Okay. Okay. But at some point, you started Strides New York City.
Yes.
So tell us about that.
So I went to, I really liked, New Balance was pretty much out there to me because I really worked with Coach Devin as well. And I saw how they take care of their athletes as well as Jenny Simpson, Brandon Martinez, one of my favorite runners. So I really wanted to see what the brand had to offer for me. So I actually, someone referred me to work for New Balance, and I also took the opportunity to apply for New Balance. So I went there as also a running coach after I got my certification. So I already had, you know, my fiance part of the group. I actually got Virginia to join, and I started kind of interacting with the running community. And New Balance kind of gave me the hey, here you go. Try to get a group run going. You know, we'll back you up.
Great.
And I think that kind of like gave me a little bit more of a chance to really get out there and feel a little bit that there's a brand that's actually backing me up in what I'm doing. So they gave me a day, to coach.
This is New Balance downtown?
Yes, Flatiron.
Oh, Flatiron. Okay, that's a relatively new store. Okay, so you were their first coach?
Yeah. So I was their first coach there, running,
Right.
certified
Now, you
running
mentioned
coach.
your fiance. Is there a story on meeting her? Because she's a runner, too, and a good one, too.
Yeah, I met her in college.
And City College?
City College
So
of New
she's a
York.
City College graduate as well?
Yes, we both graduated actually the same year.
Ah, okay.
And she saw that, I was running. So I got her. I was like, hey, come run as well. So
Okay.
she started running.
Okay, so you introduced her to running. And she's pretty good, right?
She's pretty fast. She got pretty fast,
All right. Ah, that's great. So something happened down the road, and you engaged.
Yes.
Okay. Excellent. Okay, so you're in New Balance. You're the coach, and New Balance. Dave, because I guess New Balance sponsors the Central Park Track Club. So again, Strides New York City. Was that the name of the group that you were coaching then?
Yes. I started doing meetup groups, and one of our first official meetup group was at East River Park, the track on 6th Street and FDR. And we ended up taking a nice first group picture. Felt like that was the birth of Strides NYC. I had the same runners supporting me. Big thanks to Virginia. She was the first runner I had there. Rowell, Grace. They actually helped me grow as well. They took a chance with me. And, it's not easy to put trust on someone, to take you to where you want to go in your running career. So they came, they trusted me, they encouraged other runners to take that risk, and we started growing that way.
Oh, excellent. At some point, you met Maria, who founded Latinos Run.
Yes.
That must have been pivotal. At least it was pivotal for her because, like I mentioned, she gives you loads of credit in helping her realize her dream. Her dream was always to bring a movement of activity to the Latino community, and you helped her realize that dream. So where did that knowledge and that generosity of you came from that you were able to lift her up?
I just think the same thing that, me coming from being an immigrant coming to the States, having a tough time, not just trying to meet new people, but also staying active. I wasn't active when I first got here because, all the bullying, the English was a barrier.
You overcame all that. That's amazing.
So I understood her motive behind what she wanted to do. So I really kind of like was like, you know what, there's something that she's coming up with that I really like. And that's getting kind of like the Latino community out there and running. She mentioned how, you know, majority of the Latinos are overweight. And me being from a Latino background, I really wanted to kind of like also take a chance and, you know, encourage her to do what I was doing with Strides.
And in fact, you stuck with her and coach a few of the events, you know, Tuesdays and Thursdays, whatever, to make sure it got kicked off.
Yeah.
But then you decided to do more because I was reading you wanted to reach out to Staten Island. So tell us that the after Latinos Run is, you know, taken off, and now you wanted bigger challenges. Tell us about that story.
So my main focus was growing Strides NYC. You know, I felt that, you know, I did accomplish getting her up there. And I started getting presented with many opportunities. One was volunteering with the Columbia track team, coaching their middle distance team, you know, with my understanding of middle distance training.
Columbia University?
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
And then Coach Dan was pretty great at kind of like giving me that chance during indoor season. And then I felt that Staten Island and New Jersey, Hoboken was pretty much a little bit isolated. They're kind of like, you know, you don't want to go there kind of borough or city.
Well, Staten Island might take exception to that now. I mean, they got a lot of good groups coming up.
Yeah, they are. So I really wanted to start doing a group there, and as well as Hoboken. And I have great leaders there. I have Rob Testa, who's doing a really great job of getting, you know, runners motivated to run and just getting out there to the track. And Lana, we're trying to get a group going in Staten Island, at least running Sundays, long runs.
Okay.
But overall now with me trying to grow Strides NYC, New Balance really saw what I wanted to do. So they're helping me out, you know, getting us uniforms, giving us open doors to use, you know, the store for space. So they've been really great with me.
That's excellent. That's excellent. But now I want to cover two more things. One is, athletically speaking, what are some of your challenges that you're looking forward in year 2017? Do you want to break a 4-minute mile or something really ambitious like that?
I made a decision of stop doing like long run, like not long runs, but long races such as the half or any 10K. And my main focus is to have that goal that I'd been having of breaking the 4-minute barrier. So the way I see it is, if you want to be really good at something, you need to focus in it. So I put everything aside. I'm focused now. I took 2 weeks off. Started reaching out to experts such as Ria, who is a massage therapist. I really, in order to continue to stay healthy, I needed to also take care of my body. Jessica Marie, who is from Run Pain Free, she works on runner's form. So, you know, working on everything that even as a coach, I can't see myself running. You know, I need the expertise from others to kind of encourage me and to continue running injury-free. So being surrounded by different experts is pretty much going to help me reach my goal. And my goal is to at least make it to that start line of the Olympic trials in 2020.
Wow. That's great that you recognize, even though you're a coach, even a coach needs coaches.
Yes.
And you got a team.
Yep, and that's what I'm trying to build at Strides NYC. I think not many groups out there are surrounded by a lot of experts around. So I want to have kind of like what professional teams, what I got to see was Alberto can't do it all. You need to have different experts that can help the team grow and, you know, reduce the amount of injury, cross-training, and doing all the extra stuff that not many runners do. So I'm building a team where we can, hey, you're injured, hey, go to Ria or go to Jessica. So that's my goal, you know, building a team to making sure runners have a resource to go after.
Okay.
And my goal is to be able to push a runner to beyond their limits, but not getting them injured. So that's how I want them to.
All right. Not to get them injured. Yeah. The thing I read is to find the elite in themselves, which is it's a beautiful sentiment, and that's a worthy goal. So where can people find Strides New York City? Do you have a regular schedule? Do you run every whatever?
Yes. So actually, this morning we kicked off our first morning practice at 7 a.m. I got four 4 great ladies that came out for our first practice.
Where?
In Central Park, Columbus Circle.
And they can find you on a website? Where?
Yes, so www.stridesnyc.com or our Facebook page, Strides NYC.
Okay.
They can inbox me. Any runners, I'm always open to any questions, so they can inbox me. They can find me there. We meet at New Balance on Thursdays at 6:30 p.m.
That's the Flatiron location?
Yes, the Flatiron location, and Sundays at 9:30 a.m.
Where?
At the New Balance Flatiron location as well.
All right, so twice a week at Flatiron and once at Central Park.
Central Park.
Okay, all right. And you probably, as it happens when you expand, you'll be meeting in Staten Island, Hoboken, Bronx.
That's the goal, you know, really want to focus in the growth in the city and then really expand.
Okay, all right. All right, good. Well, listen, wish you great success on all that. And, thank you so much for stopping by.
No, thank you for giving me the opportunity. Well, appreciate it.